So imagine this. There are 22 different powers in this world, and each one represents a god. Yeah, like actual gods. But here's the crazy part. Everyone starts at the bottom. Sequence 9, and if you keep advancing, 8, 7, 6, all the way to sequence 1, you basically become a god yourself. They call it the path of the divine. People who step onto this path are called beyonders. And no, it's not something you're born with. You have to earn it by drinking potions. Sounds like fantasy, right? But these potions are real in this world. Each path has its own formula. Could be herbs, animal remains, weird minerals, whatever the path demands. It's risky, it's dangerous, but it's the only way to unlock those powers. That's when I realized this wasn't just some fantasy world. It was a system, a design, a path to godhood, if you're willing to risk your humanity. The main character's name is Zhou Mingrue. He's just an ordinary guy from modern-day China, but everything changes after a stroke of bad luck at work. One day, he picks up a strange book. Inside, it describes a so-called lucky ritual. Just place 4 dishes at the corners of a room and chant a spell. Out of curiosity or maybe desperation, he decides to try it. And that's when things take a turn. After performing the ritual, Zhou suddenly loses consciousness. When he wakes up, he's not in his world anymore. He's been ice-guyed, transported into another world, and even stranger, he's now inhabiting someone else's body. That body belongs to a man named Klein Moretti. The new world follows a completely different calendar, and the date Zhou arrives is June 28, 1349. This moment marks the beginning of his journey into a world of supernatural secrets and dangerous powers. Now inhabiting the body of Klein Moretti, Zhou begins to piece together who this person was. Klein was a recent graduate from Koei University. He had a younger sister, Melissa, and an older brother, Benson. Their parents had passed away, so the 3 siblings relied on each other. But here's where things get strange. Klein had died by suicide, a gunshot wound to the head. Yet when Zhou woke up in Klein's body, there was no wound at all. It was like the injury had never existed. Even more bizarre, Zhou didn't just take over Klein's body, he also inherited his memories. Not just glimpses, but full thoughts and emotions. It wasn't just a case of possession. It was more like their minds had fused together. Zhou now had both his own memories and Klein's. This left him with a disturbing realization. He was no longer just himself. And he wasn't just Klein either. He was both, and that meant dealing with not only the mystery of Klein's death, but also whatever Klein had been involved in before it happened. Klein's death wasn't just a tragic coincidence. It was tied to something much darker. Before his suicide, Klein had been investigating a mysterious diary with 2 of his friends, Welch McGovern and Naya. All 3 of them were studying this diary, which was said to be connected to the Antigonus family, an old and possibly dangerous supernatural lineage. Then, things took a horrifying turn. Welch died by smashing his head against a wall. Naya drowned herself by forcing her head into a basin of water. Both deaths were violent, unnatural, and eerily synchronized. And just like that, all 3 of them, Welch, Naya, and Klein, were dead. Even stranger, after their deaths, the diary they had been reading disappeared without a trace. It's clear there was something deeply wrong with the contents of that diary. Whether it was cursed, or something, or someone, was behind it, one thing is certain. Zhou, now in Klein's body, is caught in the middle of a terrifying mystery. And whatever caused these deaths, it's still out there. Still disoriented and desperate to return to his own world, Zhou, now living as Klein, tries to recreate the ritual that brought him here in the first place. He buys some food and sets everything up, hoping it'll somehow reverse the process. But while he's out, he notices something unsettling. He's being followed. Feeling the danger, he ducks into a nearby circus tent to hide. Inside, he finds a fortune teller. Out of curiosity, he asks for a reading. She draws a tarot card, the Fool. That's when Zhou realizes something strange. Tarot cards exist in this world too, despite being from Earth. He remembers that Roselle Gustav, known in this world as the Emperor, lived 200 years ago and introduced many Earth-based concepts here, including tarot. That sparks a theory. Maybe Roselle was also an ice guy, someone who came from Earth just like Zhou. Later, Joe performs the ritual again, but instead of being sent back, he's transported into a mysterious, surreal space. It's surrounded by thick gray mist, with countless floating stars in red and blue. When he touches two of those stars, they react, summoning two people into the space, a noblewoman named Audrey and a sailor named Alger. Joe quickly realizes this space can manifest whatever he imagines. So, to stay safe and in control, he pretends to be a powerful entity, a godlike figure called the Fool. Through their conversation, he learns even more. Audrey wants to become a Beyonder, and she's trading with Alger to get the formula for a particular pathway called Spectator. This is the moment Joe fully steps into the hidden world of mysticism, powers, and manipulation. And now, he's not just surviving, he's playing a role. Remember the Antigonus family diary, the one tied to the mysterious suicides? It turns out that Klein's death triggered an investigation by a special team known as the Nighthawks. They're a secret task force that deals with supernatural threats. When they trace the case to Klein's home, Joe realizes they're onto him. The Nighthawks plan to use mystical interrogation techniques, methods that could reveal that Joe isn't from this world at all. Panicked, he tries to flee. But escape isn't that easy. One of the Nighthawk captains, Dunn Smith, has the ability to pull people into a dream world. Inside the dream, Joe somehow maintains his awareness, something most people can't do. He manages to avoid giving away his secret. Impressed by his unusual resistance and potential, Dunn and another Nighthawk, Daly Simone, make an unexpected offer. Join the Nighthawks. They want his help recovering the missing Antigonus diary. At this point, Joe realizes he may never get back home. The mystery surrounding Klein's death, the diary, the power system, and the strange forces at play, they've pulled him in too deep. Whether he likes it or not, his new life as Klein Moretti has truly begun. Episode 2 opens with a profound offer to Klein, the chance to become a Beyonder and join a mysterious group. He's told that if he wishes to accept, he needs to visit a man named Wright at the Hound Pub. Klein understands this could be his best shot at understanding the mysticism that now surrounds him. But simultaneously, it carries the immense risk of exposing him as a transmigrator. It's a dangerous gamble. Despite the risks, Klein heads to the pub. He gives Dunn's name to the barman, who then leads him to a secret elevator that descends to Blackthorn Security, an alias for the Nighthawks. Inside, all the Nighthawks are present. We're introduced to Rosen Adelaide, a clerk, who gives Klein a tour. We've already met Leonard and Dunn, of course. New faces include Royale Ray Dean, Fry, a scientist and corpse collector, Kenley, a nervous newcomer who's only been there about 6 months, and Old Neil, an alchemist we'll learn more about in this episode. With introductions done, Klein is brought to Dunn. He signs the papers, officially deciding to join the group. Dunn then explains their mission, to tackle supernatural incidents under the guidance of the Church of the Evernight Goddess. Becoming a part of this group means they can take potions to become Beyonders. However, Dunn reveals the inherent danger. There's always a risk of losing control. He shows Klein an adjacent room filled with candles, honoring the dead. Numerous gravestones serve as a sobering warning of how wrong things can go. These potions can drive people mad, and Klein needs to be careful. The Evernight Goddess Church offers sequence 9 potions, like the ones mentioned by the Hanged Man in Episode 1. These grant access to 4 separate pathways. Klein must make his choice soon, but first, he's offered the chance to visit Old Neil in the alchemy room. Old Neil is immediately intrigued by Klein's abilities in both Fasak and Hermes languages. Klein, in turn, shows him a book by Emperor Roselle. Interestingly, the transcripts in this book, complete with red circles around certain characters, reveal it's written in simplified Chinese. Through this discovery and the visions that follow, Klein settles on the Seer powers. He realizes he needs to internalize the potion for it to work effectively. With the potion prepared, Klein is urged not to hesitate, but to embrace this newfound gift. Initially, Klein struggles to control the immense power. He's encouraged to stay focused and create an imaginary object that doesn't exist in this world. Klein calls upon items from Earth, and this act works to calm him, eventually allowing him to control his power. With his abilities awakened, Klein senses a strange, ethereal space veiled over reality. This is spirit vision, which allows him to read different auras. He can use various powers within this vision, but he must be careful not to overuse his gift, as it could lead to problems. Before becoming an official Beyonder, Klein is initially relegated to clerk work. After buying a cane, he's tasked with watching Welch's house to locate a missing notebook. However, Klein has other plans. While patrolling the streets, Leonard gives Klein a proper mission as a seer. They need to locate a missing boy named Elliot. Using a power called the dowsing rod, which old Neil mentioned, Klein quickly ascertains Elliot's whereabouts. The boy is found inside a mansion on Forston Street, held captive by two men. Leonard swiftly deals with them, demonstrating his Beyonder powers. But then, something far more sinister arrives. The two men combine to create a monstrous creature with sharp teeth. It charges at them, but this mutant is no match for Leonard's midnight poet ability, which puts it to sleep. Klein realizes that this mansion is not new to him. It could be key to unlocking some of his own locked-away memories. He deduces that he's been here before and intends to find out how and when. More importantly, this house might also hold a crucial clue to the missing notebook's whereabouts. Investigators Dunn and Leonard are working together, and they've made a crucial realization. The secret order is also after the mysterious notebook. They decide to intensify their search, especially upon learning that Klein has a lead. Meanwhile, Leonard and Klein team up to locate Ray Bieber, a descendant of the Antigonus family. However, strong divination prevents Klein from effectively searching at the mansion. Forced to resort to old-fashioned methods, Klein is offered a topaz necklace. We learn that topaz actually amplifies one's divination, a powerful asset for his seer abilities. The Holy Cathedral has permitted the use of this topaz necklace in the hunt for Bieber. Most Grade 2 items like this are usually kept under strict lock and key, given their immense power and unpredictable nature. Several Nighthawks join them, one brandishing artifact 2-049. To activate this artifact, each person must rock their hand back and forth as if playing rock, paper, scissors. As the box opens, a creepy little wooden puppet springs forth and stalks directly toward Klein. It seems to have taken a fancy to him, likely because he's been closest to the notebook. This artifact is incredibly dangerous. It targets humans within 5 meters at random, transforming them into giant puppets. The only way to break free from this spell is a swift slap to the face, and it can only cast this spell on a few individuals. Remember this puppet, it will be crucial very soon. The group sets out across the city, the artifact guiding them, having gained the scent from Bieber's coat. They finally arrive at the Pier warehouse, where they discover a terrifying sight. Ray Bieber has literally absorbed the notebook and transformed himself into a monstrous creature. With the topaz necklace and the artifact confirming their location, they know they're in the right place. Bieber, now an abomination, attacks, prompting the group to work together to thwart the threat. Leonard's midnight poem spell fails, and they realize this is a dead soul under the notebook's control. They intensify their efforts. It's a tough fight, a true touch-and-go situation. They manage to destroy Ray and retrieve the notebook, but the battle is far from over. A circus clown, revealed to be a Beyonder of sequence 7 or above, suddenly attacks. This individual possesses a variety of different abilities and is also a member of the secret order. Unfortunately, most of the Nighthawk group is knocked out. Klein finds himself under the control of Artifact 2-049's puppet, caught within its 5-meter range. With his teammates unconscious, Klein begins to slowly transform into a puppet, with no apparent way to break free. Just as before, Klein performs the luck enhancement ritual, reciting the incantation and taking 4 definitive steps. This powerful act works, transferring his spirit into the gray fog dimension. This effectively breaks the artifact's connection, preventing him from being fully turned into a puppet. The suited clown, unaware of Klein's escape, attempts to bribe him. In exchange for helping Klein break free, he demands the notebook. Klein pretends to agree. As the clown approaches, he's unexpectedly sucked into Artifact 2-049's 5-meter range, giving Klein the crucial advantage. With a swift gunshot to the throat, the clown is defeated. However, before it perishes, it utters a single, cryptic word, Hornasis. In the aftermath, Leonard reassures Klein that there are individuals in this world capable of unique abilities, just like him. The notebook, however, is taken and transferred to the Holy Cathedral, where it's locked behind the Chinese gate, preventing others from accessing it immediately. The Order is highly impressed by Klein's actions, especially his defeat of a secret Order member with Sequence 7 capabilities. Klein, however, downplays his achievement. With the afternoon off, he returns to the Klein mystery. His next destination is the university, where he plans to visit Klein's former teacher. Azik warns Klein that he's stepping into uncharted territory here, hinting that there's more to Azik than meets the eye. Opens with a mysterious figure from the Aurora Order desperately begging the Lord Oracle for mercy. He is responsible for losing the Antigonus family's notebook to Klein and his friends, allowing it to fall into the hands of the Nighthawks. He vows to make things right by discovering what Klein has learned from the book. Following this ominous opening, the scene shifts to the Blackthorn Security Company, where Old Neil imparts his vast knowledge of ritualistic magic to Klein. The mystery prior demonstrates the magic, using ornate objects arranged on a table and reciting a powerful incantation. Using the fundamentals of this ritualistic magic, Old Neil astonishingly acquires 32 pounds, leaving Klein both baffled and deeply intrigued. Old Neil reminds Klein of the mystery prior's motto, "Do as you wish, but do not harm." After Old Neil leaves, Klein ponders their recent conversation. He recalls the mystery prior's motto and reflects that it has a sense of acting, but he believes it's still not the true acting he suspects. Furthermore, he considers his potion's digestion and wonders if it's connected to the multiple divinations he performed during recent battles. While Klein is deep in thought, a lady named Angelica approaches him and asks if he likes divination. Following this, Klein enters Tingen's divination club, where he meets Glassy, a diviner. Glassy reads Klein's fortune using tarot cards. According to the readings, Klein cannot return to the place he wants to go anytime soon, though it is possible in the long run. Klein realizes that there's still a way for him to return to Earth. While giving Glassy his payment, Klein detects the diviner's illness and suggests he visit a doctor soon. After this, Klein Moretti joins the divination club. Interestingly, Angelica recalls the club's best diviner, Hannes Vincent, having told her that an excellent seer would eventually arrive. Klein Moretti peeks into a room where Vincent is conducting a class on mirror divination. He observes a red-haired lady cheerfully receiving something in a box from Vincent before she leaves. Afterward, Klein Moretti receives a free divination reading from Hannes Vincent. The diviner states that his divination intuition has hinted at two words from Klein's future, gathering and family. Suddenly, Klein wonders if the gathering is related to the tarot card gathering in the Grey Fog. He thanks Vincent for his divine intuitions and leaves the divination club. After he departs, the episode shows Vincent's hands, which appear strikingly similar to those of the mysterious person from the opening scene. At his residence, Klein Moretti is engrossed in thoughts about his potential return to Earth. He wonders if he could create his return path by borrowing the Grey Fog's power with a specific incantation. He writes the incantation, "The fool that doesn't belong to this era." The mysterious ruler above the grey mist, the king of yellow and black, who wields good luck. He hopes to complete this prayer someday and directly return to Earth. At this moment, Klein Moretti senses someone's presence outside the room. He goes out and sees a mechanical tortoise, Melissa's latest creation. She shows it to Klein, hoping it might bring him some relaxation. Melissa then asks Klein if he is free on Sunday, as her friend Selena has invited them for a dinner party. Suddenly, Klein remembers Vincent's divination about gathering and family, realizing it must have been related to this very party. Following this, the narrative shifts to Klein Moretti conducting a second tarot gathering, with Audrey and Alger present. Audrey has now officially become a Beyonder, a Sequence 9 spectator. Alger, on the other hand, is a Sequence 8 folk of Rage Beyonder from the Sailor Pathway. In the gathering, Audrey asks what a spectator must do. Alger responds that a spectator must always spectate on events as a neutral observer. Meanwhile, Audrey asks something highly unusual. What would happen if an animal were to drink a Beyonder potion? Puzzled, Klein answers that the animal would most likely die, become a monstrous entity, or, if none of that happens, it might become an impressive creature. A mini-flashback shows how Audrey's pet dog, Susie, accidentally drank a Beyonder potion. Yet, nothing has happened to it thus far. Audrey also seeks guidance from the fool, Klein, regarding scouting talent. Klein advises conducting a high-level examination, the World Exams, where commoners from every part of the kingdom must be allowed to sit. Only in this way, he suggests, can the royal kingdom find proper talents. Furthermore, Klein orders Alger and Audrey to perform ritual magic on Sunday during their spare time. He recites the incantation from earlier, "The fool that doesn't belong to this era," the mysterious ruler above the grey mist, the king of yellow and black, who wields good luck, which they must use for the ritual magic. Alger is visibly surprised by this threefold honorific, wondering if the fool is perhaps some ancient, powerful being. After the gathering at the Grey Fog, Klein Moretti waits for Sunday. Eventually, the day arrives when he attends Selina's birthday party with Melissa and Benson. Selina introduces her younger sister, Elizabeth, to Klein and the others. Interestingly, Melissa playfully thinks Klein and Benson should resolve their marriage issues at the party. Meanwhile, Selina shows off a mirror she received from Vincent at the Divination Club to Melissa and Elizabeth. She recalls Vincent teaching her an incantation, symbolizing a higher level of connection for accurate divination. After reciting the incantation, she asks the mirror when Elizabeth's right man will appear. However, she is unaware that this magic mirror acts as a gateway for Hannes Vincent to control her senses. In essence, she is merely a pawn for Vincent to prey on Klein Moretti. After performing the divination twice, Selina transforms into a terrifying being, possessed by Vincent's senses. Klein Moretti appears at the scene. The Seer performs ritual magic, attempting to save his sister and the others. However, Vincent retaliates, using complex divinations through Selina to subdue Klein's powers. Simultaneously, he senses that Audrey, Hall, and Alger are performing the ritual magic exactly as he instructed them to. With this connection, Klein dramatically recovers his powers and swiftly frees Selina from Vincent's evil contamination. Vincent's plan utterly fails as Klein's divination effortlessly cracks the magic mirror. Immediately afterward, faces the wrath of Mr. Z, also known as the 22nd Oracle of the Aurora Order. This mysterious figure mercilessly kills Vincent. Following the chilling incident, Klein Moretti visits Vincent's house alongside Dunn Smith. There, they discover a piece of paper with an incantation identical to the one found in Selina's mirror. The episode then shows Dunn Smith experiencing a profound supernatural phenomenon.